Hey there, you, me, and DC fans, and welcome if you are new. I am the stepson of Krypton,
And I'm Mantis.
and today we're bringing you yet some more news from the set of Superman. Move past it. We're getting so much filming is still going on right now, so we're going to be bringing you a lot more of these videos just because the fact that we are getting loads and loads. I feel like more information than we've ever gotten from a filming movie, and it's just because it is Superman and it is a
Maybe.
rebooting of a
Yeah.
franchise.
Well,
But
and everyone knows it's going on right now. So like everyone in Cleveland's like they all have their phones out as they're walking to work or to get coffee. They're like, I might see him. Yeah, they're
what else
just
are you going to do in Cleveland? So
yeah.
before I get myself in trouble with any more fans from Cleveland, that was just a joke, guys. We're going to go ahead and get on into this discussion. All right, guys. So, couple of what I would say some big things that have come out of the information we've gotten here recently about the new Superman movie. More pictures, which we will get into here in a minute. But it has been announced that Will Reeve, Christopher Reeve's son, is actually going to make an appearance in this movie. Now, he is going to be a TV reporter, which is kind of interesting because, Clark Kent and, obviously Lois Lane, they work for the Daily Planet, which is a newspaper, which is kind of outdated media at this point. So he's going to be a TV reporter. But I thought that was kind of interesting because if you go through his acting career, he really hasn't had one. He's done like three other things, like one when he was 5, and then he did the Brooke Elson story, and then Everyone's Hero. And the last one was 2006 that he did anything in. So now we fast forward all the way to 2025 when he will be playing a TV reporter. And I don't know, Mantis, how do you feel about it? Because for me, like, I don't want to say he's the spitting image of his dad, but he is damn close.
Yeah, he's closer than his other two siblings, I think, because he has another brother and a sister. And while you can see the resemblance there, but he looks the closest to his father. And it's kind of fitting. Like, this is just one of those kind of cameo feel good type things that James Gunn is, you know, gonna do. And that's great. I don't think it's not one of those that you kind of feel like it's like whatever, like okay. Like to me, it's kind of a tribute type thing, and that's great. Um, it's not obviously not gonna make a hope. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a big deal in the movie. If it's just a cameo thing, it's probably just a one-off thing, and that's great. To me, it's no big deal. It's not going to impact the story. It's not going to do anything. I think it's whatever. It's cool. You know.
I think it'll be a little nod to fans that grew up with the Christopher Reeve Superman. I think
Yeah.
it is a nice little kind of nod to them that they're including that because again, we've discussed multiple times on the channel for anybody who's new. Mantis isn't as much of a car guy like I am, and like I love the Fast and Furious movies. So when Paul Walker's death happened in movie 7, there, like during the filming, like at the end they do a CG of him as they kind of drive away to give him that send off, and that was a nice nod to the fans that everybody who loved Paul Walker, R.I.P.
Hey, thought you could leave without saying goodbye.
So that was kind of a nice thing. And then there's been rumors that his brother was going to, because his brother looks very similar to him, his brother was going to kind of help him do another type of a cameo appearance. I don't know if they were going to do more than that. I kind of gave up on the franchise after about movie 8. So this, I feel like, is the same thing. It's just kind of a nice nod to the fans that the fans of Christopher Reeve, like myself, to see just like his dad, 6'4", he's going to be a standout figure. He's going to be taller than most of the other people that he's going to be around. So we also got some new images and a couple of important ones here. Krypto
Yes.
is making
Krypto.
his screen appearance.
Yeah, we saw video on Twitter. I don't know if we did. Did we do a video on that? I
We
can't
did
remember.
not.
But there was video.
You mentioned
There's
it.
video. Yeah, there was video that released with God, another brain fart.
Mr.
Mr.
Terrific.
Terrific, uh, acting with nothing. Like he was talking to something in front of him, but then he was running around doing other stuff, and everyone was like, "Oh, well, there's CGN Krypto in there," which is interesting because. I mean, you can't do CG for the dog the whole time, so I'm assuming that was more of an action sequence or something that they were doing. And here, obviously, you see the golden retriever, Krypto, which man, he's hefty in this. He's hefty. But to be fair, golden retrievers have a lot of fur, so you know.
Now we have seen other golden retrievers play Krypto in Smallville. I'm like 99.9% certain that was a golden retriever playing Krypto in Smallville. Don't
I think
worry, I'll
you're
cut
right.
it in there. It is. Now, this, however, guys, this is not Krypto. This was actually just a dog that somebody had dressed up in a Superman costume, and you see James Gunn petting him. He just was wandering the streets while they were filming, and of course, it garnered everybody's attention because he's in a Superman outfit. So this is actually not Krypto. That's why when you said he was hefty, I was like, well, I'm going to break the news to him. We're not trying to bring you fake news. It was just kind of a joke. But he was on the set there, and that's why you see the person with their phone, because he looks... he looks like you're like, oh, wait, that's obviously Krypto. Now, there were people commenting, because there's a couple other pictures of him, right? That his suit looks better than David Corenswet's suit. Which I loved. I thought that was great. Because at least because he is a little bit of a chunker, which is okay because Goldens are great.
They got big fur.
He fills it. He fills it out, right? So it looks skin tight on him. Whereas,
yeah, it does.
You know, when you start looking at David Goren's sweatsuit, which we just right before we started filming this, guys, if you are subscribed to the channel, or if you've been watching our videos, you know we freaking suck at pronouncing names. Right, I always try to avoid it. So realize we've been pronouncing David Corenswet's name wrong this whole time. I was like, you know what? I'm going to learn how it was actually said. So working on it, we're getting better. But we see more images of his suit here. Now, I'll have the images up there. I don't know that I'll have if I'll use these exact ones that I've got up here. I mean, they will be the same ones, but in the manner, because here I do call out the parts of the suit that obviously we're continuing to see the same trend, right? Which Mantis had even said in the previous video where we were discussing the suit that, you know, at this point, the suit's going to look how it is, and then what's going to be fixed in post will be fixed in post. So we shouldn't expect drastic changes from the suit. But we do kind of get to see more details, more in depth of the battle, because here we do see him dirty. We're getting kind of closer to what we saw of the original suit pictures, where the suit's more damaged, whereas what we saw before, the suit looked looked perfect. It looked in good shape. It was just,
except for that first one, the very first image, it looked.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm talking about the Cleveland photos from the set. Yes, this is kind of moving more towards what we saw in the photos. The colors look duller. We see some damage on the S. We see him dirty, so it kind of looks like, I don't know if what's on the set photos that we originally brought to you. I say brought to you. I didn't fucking take them. Mantis didn't fucking take them. We got them off the internet. But you know what I mean. But those photos, it looks like that was maybe the start of this battle. And then what we see in that original photo of the suit and now here is more towards the end of the battle.
Maybe because there, like, if you go to the one past this one, I think he looks like he's like something threw him the fuck down through the ground. Like he
looks buried.
Good. Yeah.
And I'll put a few more up there in post here, because I didn't want to like overwhelm with this shot, but I can do a nice little collage of them. But there are ones where, like, because you see him and the way he looks, but there are the ones where he's kind of like laughing and they're joking around. Obviously, those are not there's shots people were taking as he's getting in and out of that hole that they made for him to go into. But it looks like he has been put into the ground hard. Giggity.
Yeah. Someone threw him the fuck down there good.
Which kind of goes back to, when we had done the video about Ultraman, obviously, and we were discussing or not whether or not, we said, you'd have to have somebody on equal ground with Superman, somebody with close to his powers
Mhm.
to be bossing around. Unless this is the fucking servitor doing this stuff, like
Well,
it,
I was gonna say I could have swore I read some leaks, rumored leaks about the plot of this movie, and that Ultraman, quote unquote, Ultraman was actually a clone of Superman or copy that Lex made to help arrest him or capture him. So
which we had basically speculated when we did the video on
yeah.
Ultraman. Now there was, and a lot of people have done videos on the leaked plot of it.
Mhm.
We did not do a video on that because I one couldn't verify, as well too. I kind of feel like it was just bait that somebody put out there to kind of throw
Mhm.
people off. Hell, it might have been James Gunn himself. We don't know. It's kind of like the leak for Deadpool was Ryan Reynolds. Like he's the
Right.
one that leaked the original test footage to get this going. Um, and like so I didn't know, but I wasn't sure.
I mean, it makes
Yes.
sense.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Like,
like, is he releasing it to build hype, or is he releasing something that's completely wrong? To again, it's that kind of people freaking out
maybe.
is just as good as
I mean,
people
maybe.
loving it, right? Because they stay excited.
Yeah, regardless of if he meant to leak it out or did it on purpose or it was for whatever the reason, take all that out of the account. If you just look at the actual rumor itself on the construction of it, like it kind of makes sense, right? Like it doesn't seem too far fetched of why, because that's obviously like we said in our video, that's not how Ultraman looks. Like he doesn't look like that. The actual Ultraman doesn't. That's not his suit. That's not how he looks. So it makes sense that that's kind of what happens there. So again, and it makes sense too. Like the real Ultraman would not be taking orders from Lex, would not be taking orders from the U.S. government or whoever the hell was walking with him, right? Like, the
Yeah,
plot was it's like Lex helped the U.S. government out by making a clone of Superman to help him get arrested, to arrest him and control him or whatever. And that's
arrest
kind of
him.
what was it? Arrest him. Yeah.
Simon
So
says, arrest him.
Arrest him.
Arrest him!
Please arrest him. Simon says arrest him.
yeah, I mean, in this here again, like you said, I think it's just an ending of an action sequence or end of a fight scene action sequence that he gets like freaking thrown through the ground pretty good.
Yeah, and again, that's another thing when you think about the suit. Now, we've discussed the Superman suit many a time. We did an entire video on the history of the suit up until this point. And we've done videos when the images of the suits first leaked. But ordinarily, the suit withstands a lot more damage. Like in almost every iteration of Superman, when you see him get shot, it does not damage the suit.
And why
Um,
is that?
well, there's a couple different reasons. Um, a
Like,
lot
give me the cliff notes.
in the comics, they have done a lot about the aura around Superman or his life force that protects him, and anything that's sitting within a few millimeters from his skin, which the suit normally being skin tight, uh, is that close to his skin, so it's protected by him, which is why even in Lois and Clark we have seen the suit heal. We've seen the suit do a lot of miraculous things. Only when Superman gets damaged does the suit. It's kind of like they're one. So if he's taken enough damage or enough of a beating to he's damaged, the suit damages as well. And that's kind of like the impression I get here, right? Like the suit looked
Yeah.
all nice and everything when we saw the Green Lantern and Hawk Girl and all them, and it looked like they were doing some normal saves. The suit was bright, vibrant, and wasn't damaged. And now we see this, which I have to assume is Ultraman. We see the suit getting damaged.
It's funny too because it's not something that in any, and correct me if I'm wrong here because I could be way off base. It's nothing that I ever remember discussed or explained in any movie or TV show.
Oh, Lois and Clark does actually say that about the aura. Dr. Klein
Okay.
in there does explain that things sitting very very close, and he actually does say a few millimeters. I will not find that clip on YouTube. I'll have to watch the show. Oh, pity me. I got to watch Superman or Lois and Clark again. Love that show. So I'll be happy to watch because I think I know around the episode where it's talked about. I'll cut that in.
It's the aura effect. Anything within a tenth of a millimeter is essentially a second skin.
Because, yeah, he does actually mention that
even if it's just
in the TV show.
Yeah, even if it's just mentioned in a one-off episode of the TV show. Again, it's never quite mentioned. Obviously, in the comics, it is. I'm sure but it's like it's not mentioned in any of the movies. It's just kind of assumed that the viewer is like, oh, it's kind of just a part of him, right? Like they don't want you to think too hard about it. You know what I mean? It's just like it's just accept it and move on.
Well, so in the episode, if it's the episode I'm thinking about, and I've cut this episode or at least a clip of this into a previous video we did. Actually, it was when we were talking about the super suit. Superman's powers get transferred to somebody else. So I take it back. Somebody switches bodies with Superman. So Superman's in an older man's body, and even though the young guy that takes his body has his powers, his weakening, right? Because it doesn't have Superman's life force, basically. So the suit gets damaged. He gets shot, and it's only a scrape, but the suit's damaged and he's bleeding. And then when Clark goes back into his own body, the suit heals. So does he. So he explains it there. That I'm trying to think about. I'll have to probably cut it in later. I don't want to drag this video on for 30 more minutes
it's
while
fine.
my brain kicks in.
It's fine.
I don't know that there's anywhere else that's ever mentioned it. I know it's on Lois and Clark though.
Yeah, just one of those things. As a viewer, again, I'm coming at this. I'm trying to view this as someone that is familiar with Superman, but I'm not like a stickler for lore and all of this nonsense because I want to kind of bring this back to the Krypto aspect of this movie because Krypto is in the movie. But like, it's kind of a goofy thing if you think about Krypto, right? Like the stuff, I don't know if maybe people are familiar with Krypto, but like, from what I remember, again, you have to correct me if I'm wrong. Krypto was like was a dog on Krypton that Jor-El shot off, off the planet and as a test or whatever, and ended up crash landing or whatever, and a kid took him in or whatever, and Superman eventually finds him, and he's got he's got a doesn't he have like a collar that translates for him or whatever that was from the ship or something like that too, and he's kind of got Superman's powers, but he also has weaknesses. He's weak to kryptonite. It's just kind of a goofy thing because like his super friends, like Krypto's friends, are like a cat and a bird or something like that too. Like he's got like, it's more of a kid's thing. And the reason I bring that up is like, it's a very interesting thing to bring in this movie. If they're doing that it brings the kids in as well to want to watch the movie. It's that kid friendly aspect to the superhero movie, which is kind of smart. It's just kind of goofy if you're trying to make it a serious Superman movie, a serious superhero movie, if that makes any sense.
So it does. So we've seen a couple of different variations of Krypto throughout the cartoons, the live action comics, and yes, you are right in one iteration of Krypto. We've also seen Krypto show up in Smallville.
Have you thought of a name yet?
I was thinking of calling him Krypto.
The TV show, there was Krypto, and that's where I said I'm pretty sure he was a Golden as well. And then we've seen him show up in Titans, which I know you haven't watched Titans.
I have not seen all of Titans. I've seen a couple episodes, but not all of them.
Titans does another one where, like you see him with his super strength. He has heat vision. Because there's a sad scene where Alan Richardson's character in Teen Titans, something happens and Krypto's there, and there's an explosion and Krypto comes out and he's charred, but he's fine. Like he's not charred, but he's got he looks like that, right? He's got the smoke on him and the dirt and dust on him, but he's fine. he comes out just fine. But Alan Richards' character, he goes, go heat vision me up some hot dogs and things like that. And Krypto understands him, and he goes to go do it. It was great to see him in that. It was great to see a Krypto in Smallville. And I mean, to be fair, who doesn't love a dog? Especially they seem to always go with the golden retriever route. I mean, they're a great dog. They are great with people. So, I don't know that you want to see a bully breed, with a spike.
I don't want to see Cujo.
Yeah, right.
Like Pitbull or something. Yeah.
Or Thor, he is taking the day off today, but you see Thor where he's just going to run and do something else completely different than what you want him to do because he doesn't have a trainable bone in his body.
This is so. Yeah. It just was an interesting choice. I think again, if they do it, it's bringing in the kids as well. So it's a smart marketing move.
So we won't go through. We'll briefly touch on a lot of the other pictures are the same stuff. It's all this one battle. This what looks to be like right there. He looks like he's out pretty well, right? So whatever's happening is a pretty intense, and he's got kind of the same face he had on him in that very first original picture when he's putting on the suit. So I don't know if that's right after this shot, like where he's just not in the best of moods. It adds a little more to the story. And as we get kind of these building blocks, we're starting to piece the story together. It looks like either this is the very beginning of the movie or the very end. So at one point he's happy in there. I don't have the picture of it here for you, Mantis, but I'll cut in.
That's right. Yeah.
There's another, and they've caught a lot of these over the course of the filming. There's another news kiosk, and it has a picture, and it says, Superman fulfills wish, and you see him, and he's got this bus, right? And he's going by the pyramids, and apparently, I say apparently, I don't know what the situation is in the movie, but that shot is also in the comics, older comics, where Superman does take it was like, I guess, a Make-A-Wish kind of, it's a cancer patient.
Okay.
He does fly the bus over and he's bringing him to the pyramids. So there was this whole thing like, hey, we're seeing the lighter, the Superman that we all think of Golden Age, like real upbeat. So I feel like we're either going to start negative and go super positive, or more than likely start super positive and then something's going to happen to go negative, right? Because we saw in the previous photos with Hot Girl and Mr. Terrific and the Green Lantern that he's working with this team of leather-bound Lotharios there. He's working with this team. Everything seemed very upbeat. He's saving kids. We see other newspapers with him, so he's doing a lot of positive. And then there's these battles, right? So I feel like we're gonna stay on a positive note for a lot of the movie. It's not going to be quite as dark and brooding as maybe Man of Steel was for some people.
Which we want to see. I want to see a superhero that, people can look up to. That's what we've kind of missed, I think. That was the whole point of Superman, and is the whole point of superheroes in general. Like, this is someone to model yourself out of, to follow and be like, and someone to look up to. And I think they've kind of gotten away from that. And it's good that James Gunn, and he mentioned this before, that's what he wanted to see. And like you said, it was called the Superman Legacy. Yeah, he kind of wanted it to be that way, and I don't think he's changed that specifically on how Superman's character is written in this movie, which is good. I think we've seen enough of the dark, realistic Superman. I think we need to see the comic book Superman.
Yeah, I think people need that symbol, right? The symbol, and it's funny because in the darker Superman that we're referring, he's like, this symbol is the symbol for hope, right?
My people's symbol for hope.
Hope starts with an H, stupid.
Okay.
Well, you didn't get a lot of that in the
Not
whole
really.
series, right? Because even in Batman v Superman, he was upset, and he was being blamed for things. People weren't sure how to take him. And all this, so he's always kind of that dark brooding. Whereas, I think we want that golden age, that beacon of just truth, justice,
Yes.
and American way, right? And I think that's a good move bringing in Krypto because that humanizes him a lot, right? And
Oh yeah,
him
yeah.
having the dog, and they can play around, and they can go, go do whatever. And I don't know how big a part Krypto's going to have, but just having him in here, I think adds that levity, right? And it humanizes him more. That hey, he's got a pet, he's got Krypto,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
and again, it's going to
Yeah.
be a cute dog. It won't be the one I showed. I was just joking. Just wanted to trick Mantis. But let us know down in the comments how you feel about Krypto being in the movie. Do you think that dog should have been the one that's in the movie? And did you think his suit looks better than David Corrin's so far?
Oh gosh.
I'll put some other images. Don't worry. I'll have other images because there are a couple. Because apparently he stayed on set for a little while because they're filming. Obviously, there's a lot of extras and they're running around. And apparently, this dog just comes running in a Superman costume, which I love. That's great. And you can tell James Gunn and a couple other people he was interacting with loved it too. So whoever
Yeah,
did
yeah.
that was a very smart move.
I hope. Yeah, I hope there's an extra disc when this movie comes out, an extra Blu-ray disc of like behind the scenes stuff, and that's included in it because I want to see what they said when that happened.
Right? Just like, oh hey, like actually
Yeah.
that suit looks pretty good. We just got to touch it up a little bit, even though, like I said, he's a little bit fluffy. So,
Yeah, he's fluffy.
all right, guys. If you have made it with us this far, we definitely thank you. Please consider giving this video a like. He is going to show you where. At his crotch. Subscribing to the channel. And clicking the little bell so you don't miss all of the information that we're bringing to you, all the videos, not only on everything going on in the DC realm, but later this month we are getting ready to have the Deadpool Wolverine movie launch. So we will be not reacting to it because obviously it won't be out available, but we are going to do a review of it. Plenty of spoilers, so don't watch that if you haven't gone to see the movie yet. But we will be reviewing everything also as well that's going on in the Marvel universe as well. So, also, if you've watched our previous video, which I don't know in what order I'm going to release them out to, let us know down in the comments how you're feeling so far about the movie. If there are some discussion topics that you would like us to discuss that maybe we haven't missed yet, maybe you do want us to go over the leaked script that was out. Like I said, I made kind of a personal judgment call not to, just because I don't know how authentic all of that is, and I don't want to do a bunch of just videos just to get you to watch videos of fake news stuff that's not going to be real. So, and or comment, let us know what you think about Krypto, the one that I'm showing here in the video, because he is pretty cute. I think that's going to be my next dog. I think if I get to the point where I have time, I could get a dog again, is going to be a golden.
Yeah, it's always a good choice. They're always good.
Unlike the
I
hell
mean,
spawn that you have.
I mean, Thor loves me.
I'm not saying he doesn't love you. I'm saying he is insane.
His wiring's a little crossed. He may have a couple of.
To be fair, he is a husky, so
yeah, they're all messed up. Yeah, all the
Exactly.
huskies are.
But we still love him on this channel, and when he makes his special guest appearances. So we thank you
He's
for
being
that.
stubborn right now.
He's camera shy. I didn't know if you had the door open, and he's looking like he doesn't want to come on the camera.
He's just laying in the doorway, mean mugging me.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of You, Me, and DC. Until the next one, we will see you then.
Later.